It started as just another energetic night on The Tonight Show until Zendaya saw something in the audience that made her voice disappear and changed everything forever. Studio 6B was buzzing with electric energy. Tonight, Zendaya was returning to talk about her latest film and her work with youth activism. The New York City skyline glittered through the studio's windows, and the audience was a vibrant mix of young faces, everyone hoping to catch a moment with one of Hollywood's most influential young stars. What nobody noticed was the girl in row 3, seat 5. Mia Johnson, 17 years old, sat with a posture that was both proud and fragile. She wore a black hoodie with gold lettering that read, "Say her name, Nia Washington, 16, gone but never forgotten." On her wrist was a purple and gold beaded bracelet, handmade and worn from constant touch. In her hands, she clutched a poster board face down, protecting it like something sacred. This wasn't just about meeting a celebrity. This was about keeping a promise to a best friend who would never fulfill her own dreams. If this story moves you, please subscribe to our channel. We share these powerful moments because they matter, because they change lives, and because voices like Mia's deserve to be heard. Your subscription helps us continue bringing you real stories about real courage. The poster had been created 1 year ago, the night before Nia Washington's funeral. The two girls had been inseparable since 3rd grade, growing up in Oakland, California. They'd shared everything: dreams of becoming lawyers, late-night conversations about changing the world, and fierce belief that their generation would be different. Nia had been passionate about criminal justice reform, speaking at city council meetings despite her age. She'd started a podcast called Young, Gifted, and Heard, where she interviewed teenage activists. Mia had been her co-host, her partner, the one who held the microphone steady when Nia's voice shook with passion. Then came the night that changed everything. Nia had been walking home from a community meeting, just 3 blocks from her house, when she was stopped by police. Routine identification check, they said. Nia had done everything right, kept her hands visible, spoken respectfully, explained she lived nearby, but something went wrong. The body camera footage showed a 16-year-old girl, frightened but calm, asking what she'd done wrong. Could she please call her mother? It showed hands reaching for a phone, not a weapon. It showed a life ending on a sidewalk 3 blocks from home. Mia had received Nia's last text minutes before. "Heading home. Tomorrow we're recording the best episode yet. We're going to change things, Mia. I really believe we can." That text was now tattooed on Mia's ribcage. At the funeral, Mia had promised, "I won't let her story be forgotten. I won't let her voice be silenced. I will continue the work we started together." That night, she created the poster she now held. On one side was Nia's photo from their last podcast recording, surrounded by gold lettering, "Nia Washington, 16, activist, podcaster, dreamer, silenced but never forgotten." On the back was a transcript of Nia's last podcast episode, where she'd interviewed Zendaya 2 days before her death. In that interview, Zendaya had told Nia, "Your voice matters right now, not someday when you're older, but today, exactly as you are." Those words had become Nia's mantra and Mia's reason to keep going. The show opened with Jimmy's characteristic energy. When he introduced Zendaya, the applause was thunderous. Zendaya walked out in an elegant cream suit, her presence filling the space with confidence and warmth. She hugged Jimmy, waved to the audience, and settled into the guest chair. "Zendaya, everybody," Jimmy said. "You've been really vocal about youth activism. What drives that passion?" Zendaya's expression became serious. "Young people today are dealing with social media, constant news cycles, watching injustice happen in real time. But instead of being paralyzed, so many are choosing to speak up, to organize, to demand better. We have a responsibility to amplify their voices, to let them know they have power even if the world tries to tell them they don't." As Zendaya spoke, her eyes scanned the audience. That's when she saw her, Mia in row 3, listening with intensity beyond typical fan excitement, gripping something, her body language speaking of purpose and pain. It was the hoodie with its gold lettering and the way she held that poster board like it contained something precious. Zendaya's sentence trailed off. "Jimmy," she said softly, "I'm noticing something in the audience that I think we need to pay attention to." Zendaya walked to the stage edge. "The young woman in row 3 wearing the black hoodie. Would you mind standing up?" Mia's heart stopped. She looked at her mother, Sandra, who squeezed her hand and nodded through forming tears. Slowly, Mia stood up, still holding the poster against her chest. "What's your name, sweetheart?" Zendaya asked. "Mia Johnson from Oakland." "I can see from your hoodie that you're here to honor someone named Nia Washington. Would you share what you're holding?" Mia looked at the poster, then at Zendaya. "This is my best friend, Nia. She died 1 year ago today. She would have given anything to be here talking to you, so I'm doing it for her." The studio fell silent. Jimmy walked down from the desk. "Mia, I'm so sorry," Zendaya said. "Would you tell us about her?" Mia turned the poster around. Nia Washington was 16 when she was killed during a police stop 3 blocks from home. She was walking back from a community meeting about youth voices in criminal justice reform. She was brilliant, passionate, fearless. She started a podcast about young activists, and she believed our generation could change things, that we could create a world where kids like us didn't have to be afraid walking home at night. Tears streamed down Zendaya's face. She walked off the stage into the audience toward Mia. When Zendaya reached Mia's row, people shifted to create space. "Tell me about your friendship," Zendaya said. "We were best friends since 3rd grade. We co-hosted Young, Gifted, and Heard together, interviewing teenage changemakers. We believed our voices mattered, even though people told us to wait our turn. Nia refused to wait. She said, 'Justice delayed is justice denied.'" Zendaya touched the poster gently. "What's on the back?" Mia turned it around, revealing the transcript. "This is the interview you did with Nia 2 days before she died. You stayed on the call for almost an hour because you connected. You told her something that became her guiding principle, something I've carried every day since." Zendaya's hand went to her mouth. "Oh my God, I remember, and I told her." "You told her that her voice matters right now, not someday, but today," Mia finished. In her final text before she died, she said, "We're going to change things, Mia. I really believe we can." She died believing in her voice because you told her it was powerful. Jimmy was crying openly. Zendaya pulled Mia into a tight embrace. "I remember her now," Zendaya whispered. "I remember how passionate she was, how she made me think harder about my answers. I thought she was going to do incredible things." "She already was doing incredible things," Mia said, "but she never got to finish. So I'm finishing it for her. I restarted our podcast. I do it alone now, but I leave Nia's microphone in the empty chair because she's still my co-host. Every episode starts with, 'This is Mia Johnson, and this should be Mia and Nia, but we're making it work.' I interview young activists. I tell Nia's story. I make sure people know her name." Zendaya addressed the studio, holding Mia's hand. Nia Washington was 16 and changing her community. When her life was taken, when she was silenced, her best friend made a choice. Mia could have let grief consume her. Instead, she chose to honor Nia by continuing their mission. That's legacy building. That's ensuring Nia's voice still speaks. The audience erupted in applause. "Mia, I want to be on your podcast," Zendaya said. "I want to do a full episode about Nia, about what young activists need. And I'm going to make calls. By the end of this week, Young, Gifted, and Heard will have resources to reach millions. Not because I'm swooping in to save you, but because you've been doing the work and deserve support." Zendaya reached behind her neck and unclasped a delicate gold necklace. "This was given to me when I was your age, told to never forget where I came from. I've worn it to every major moment in my career." She placed it around Mia's neck. "Now I want you to have it. Not because Nia is gone, but because you're carrying on her work with courage most adults will never have. This is your reminder that what you're doing matters." Mia touched the necklace. Nia's last podcast script was titled, "Turning Pain into Power." She wrote that the goal wasn't to get over tragedy, but transform it into fuel for change. I didn't understand until now, This moment, standing here with you, having Nia's story witnessed by all these people, this is turning our pain into power." Zendaya nodded through tears. "That's exactly what activism is, taking the worst things and refusing to let them be the end of the story. Making sure it means something, making sure it leads to change so nobody else has to hurt this way." Jimmy returned to the stage. "Tonight we learned about Nia Washington, a 16-year-old activist who believed young voices could change the world. We learned about Mia Johnson, who loved her friend enough to carry on their mission even when it would have been easier to give up." Zendaya added, "Every life cut short leaves ripples. Nia's ripples are spreading right now. Everyone watching, everyone here, we're all part of Nia's legacy because we've heard her story. The question is what we do with that knowledge." The video went viral within hours. And you say her name, Nia Washington, trended worldwide. Young activists reached out to Mia offering support, sharing stories, creating the network Nia had dreamed about. Mia's podcast downloads went from hundreds to hundreds of thousands. Other young people who had lost friends to violence reached out. "I thought I was alone trying to keep their memory alive. Thank you for showing me I'm not." 3 months later, Mia returned to the show. She'd launched the Nia Washington Foundation, supporting young activists working on criminal justice reform. She'd testified before her city council using Nia's research. Nia's parents wrote that seeing their daughter's life honored gave them reason to keep going. Zendaya appeared on Mia's podcast as promised, and the episode became the most downloaded of the year. They talked about being young, gifted, black, and determined to create change. They talked about grief and purpose becoming inseparable. They made sure everyone understood Nia wasn't just a victim. She was a leader stolen from a world that desperately needed her voice. Studio 6B added a plaque. "In honor of Nia Washington and all young activists who believe their voices can change the world." They're right. The Tonight Show created an annual Young, Gifted, and Heard segment featuring teenage activists. Mia continued Nia's mission, recording episodes, speaking at rallies, refusing to let her best friend's belief be silenced. She kept Nia's empty chair, the microphone set up, introducing each episode. "This is Mia Johnson, and this should be Mia and Nia, but we're making it work." Because that's what real friendship looks like. Not pretending pain doesn't exist, but transforming it into something that honors the person you lost. Not moving on, but moving forward with their dreams intact. Not forgetting, but remembering so powerfully their voice continues through yours. Nia had been right. Young voices can change the world, sometimes in person, sometimes through friends who refuse to let them be forgotten, who carry their missions forward, who prove a voice silenced is not a voice defeated. In Studio 6B that night, 200 people learned that the most powerful activism isn't the loudest, it's the most persistent. It's showing up day after day to honor someone who can't show up anymore. It's using your voice not just for yourself, but for every voice silenced too soon. It's believing, like Nia believed, that change is possible if enough people refuse to accept things must stay the same. Nia Washington lived 16 years, but her voice will speak for generations through Mia Johnson and every person who heard her story and decided to add their voice to the chorus demanding justice. That's not tragedy, that's transformation. That's pain turned into power. That's exactly what Nia believed was possible, and exactly what her best friend made sure became reality.